Am I the asshole for laughing at my boyfriend's freakout and not telling him I have a prosthetic earlier? Disclaimer, this is not my story. I, 22 female, have a prosthetic leg. I lost my leg when I was 3 years old in an accident. Honestly, I don't remember a time without the prosthetic leg, it's just normal to me. I've been seeing a guy, 25 male, for a couple of months, but the subject of my leg hasn't came up yet. A few days ago, I was having dinner at his place as he was cooking for me. When he was setting out the food, he bumped into the table and the vase went flying off and smashed against my prosthetic leg. He freaked out in a blind panic, wanting me to roll up my trouser leg in case I was hurt and asking me over and over again if I was okay. I admit I was startled and relieved it had been that leg and couldn't help but laugh. I reassured him it was fine over and over again, but he didn't believe me and demanded to see. So to prove it, I removed my prosthetic leg and showed it to him. I explained the situation and how I'd lost my leg when I was little. I then told him it was fine if it was that leg and I was just relieved it wasn't the other one. He got upset with me for laughing, clearly embarrassed by the situation, and was more upset that I haven't told him about my leg yet. I apologized and explained it's not exactly an easy thing to work into conversation organically, and that I for sure would have told him before we slept together for the first time, as no one wants to discover the hard way. We had dinner, but the mood was ruined. He was clearly unhappy with me. I later got text from him saying he felt really upset that I hadn't told him earlier and how he's been worried. Also that he needs time to think about some things. My laugh wasn't at him, it was more in shock of the situation. I had been planning to tell him, but it's not like you can just say, oh, by the way, I only have one leg, naturally in a conversation. Am I the asshole for saying I will call campus authorities if my friend doesn't give me my dress back? Disclaimer, this is not my story. Every time there's a formal at my 19 female school, which is pretty often, this girl, 19 female, who I thought was my friend, borrows one of my formal dresses since she doesn't have any. And since girls try to avoid repeating the same dress within a semester, she's borrowed like 7 dresses from me. Every time she borrows one, I have to have it dry clean, which is about $50 considering the dresses are high-end. I thought we were friends and I've loaned her evening gowns many times for formals she otherwise wouldn't be able to attend. She was literally sobbing on the phone the first time she realized she didn't have a dress she felt content wearing. The last dress she borrowed from me was one of my nicer dresses. And it was for the most formal gala our school throws each year. I wanted it back right after. She left me on red for 2 weeks and kept ignoring my texts. I eventually showed up at her door to get the dress. She said she was washing it for me. I told her you can't wash a formal dress made out of formal material, it would completely destroy it. She apparently had no clue, so I said I would be back for it. She left me on red for another 2 weeks as I texted her, and she ignored me again until I showed up at her door. She pretended not to hear me, so I texted her roommate to have her roommate open the door for me. I said I wanted my dress back right now. She said, "What are you doing here? You're trespassing on my property. This dorm room is my private residence, and you're threatening me with your crazy energy." I said I would call campus authorities if she didn't give me my dress right now, and that keeping it was stealing my property. She yelled, "Oh, so now I'm a thief? How dare you disrespect me in my home?" I said, "You are, and you owe me $690 if I don't get my dress right now." She said she misplaced it in her room and didn't have time to search for it and told me to go away. I said I would call campus police and report theft. Am I the asshole for defending my friend and saying my wife needs to work on her insecurities? Disclaimer, this is not my story. I've been married to Jessica for 13 years and we have 2 girls, 12 and 5. I have a female friend, Madison, who I've known since before I was with Jessica. This has never caused much of an issue because I met Madison through her ex-husband, who is still one of her best friends. And we usually hang out in a group, so Jessica has never felt jealous or threatened. She doesn't like Madison though due to clashing personalities. She feels like Madison and our mutual friend's wife look down on her. But she can't come up with any examples and admits it was just a gut feeling. I don't know what to believe there because other people have told me they felt like it was Jessica who hated the 2 other women. Madison has a glamorous life. She used to work in fashion and married a guy with a lot of money. So my 12-year-old has always been in awe of her just due to the clothes and the parties. This annoys Jessica, but we never thought much of it. Jessica is more of the girl next door and looks down on Madison for some of the glamour. My 5-year-old has been having some behavioral issues lately, so we're working on that, but everyone else is a little tense. Madison and her current husband stopped by Saturday night after attending some sort of gala fundraiser. Madison was dressed up for the gala. Our 5-year-old heard and it woke her up. She saw Madison and said, "You look like a princess, you're so pretty and your dresses are so pretty, I wish you were my mom." Madison laughed and said thank you, which Jessica thought was insensitive. When she left, she went off about what a bitch Madison was. She's been pressuring me to distance myself from the friendship. I argued that Madison didn't do anything, but Jessica said it didn't matter. Today, she brought it up again, and I told her she needs to work on her insecurities. Am I the asshole for taking family photos to send without my actual mom and stepdad after they took their family photos without me? Disclaimer, this is not my story. I was born to a teen mom. My mom had me at 17. She later married my stepdad, and they have my step-siblings who are 9 and 12. I'm 18 and in college now. Before Easter, I was at college and I found out that my mom and stepdad took family photos without me for their cards. My mom said that it was just because she needed them printed out in time and I was at college. But college is only 25 minutes away, and I feel like my stepdad is resentful that their family includes some other guy's child. He also described the photo as of close family, and then backpedaled and said I just wasn't as close physically because I'm at college. So I decided to play a little joke. I took my younger siblings and 2 of my best friends to the Walmart photo shop, and we took deliberately cheesy family photos all wearing blue jeans and jean jackets. My friends dressed as my mom and stepdad. My female friend wore a bald cap to be my stepdad, and my male friend wore a wig and a denim dress to be my mom. We took a bunch of pictures with props and picked a favorite of all of us standing in silly action poses wearing raccoon skin hats. We all agreed that my friends looked like my parents when the picture was postcard sized. It was honestly a really fun photo, really different than the serious ones my family always takes. I had it printed out on the cards and signed them with love, the family name. I then swapped the cards in the envelopes my mom had prepared and resealed them with the sort of stickers she uses. Apparently, a couple of my extended family members didn't look hard enough at the pictures to notice something was off and just displayed them. But a few people mentioned to my mom that the picture was funny, which pissed her off because she thought they were talking about her boring photo. A few people mentioned to my mom that the picture was funny, which pissed her off because she thought they were talking about her very boring photo of them all sitting on a picnic blanket with a giant Easter basket. Then my aunt sent a photo of the postcard to the family group chat and said, "This isn't you, is it?" My mom was furious at me for sending out the joke cards and embarrassing the family, and also not sending out the cards that she made. I told her that I didn't get why she was upset about being left out of the family photo. Apparently, it isn't a big deal to be treated like you're not part of the family. She said I was making a mockery of her and my stepdad by having cross-dressers be in the photo. I said that I just wanted a photo with my close family just like my stepdad did, and that I consider those friends of mine my closest family, because I guess that's just something we can choose now. My mom got mad at me for sassing her like that. She told me to leave and I went back to college. Am I the asshole for blowing up on my husband after he told me why he didn't get me a Mother's Day gift? Disclaimer, this is not my story. I lost my son at the age of 7 a few months ago due to illness, my husband and his stepdad. Grief is still pretty much raw for me, but I make sure I don't bother others with my burden. Although my husband has been saying that I've become lazy and neglectful towards home, chores, work, and more. He's partially right, but those who have been in my place know how hard it is just to get out of bed these days. This was my first Mother's Day without my son, so the hurt was at the highest. I went out for a walk and came home to find that a lot of family and close friends sent me gifts to cheer me up. Some of the gifts were like mementos, which really touched my heart. My husband came home an hour ago and I excitedly showed him what everyone sent me for Mother's Day. He made a face, then said that was nice. I noticed that he didn't bring anything, but I asked to make sure. He told me he intended not to bring a Mother's Day gift. I said why, and he said he didn't feel like I should hear it, but I insisted. He then nonchalantly told me that it's because he thought I'm no longer a mother. I was baffled by his response and I blew up on him, but he told me he meant this technically. I asked if he thought I could no longer call myself a mother just because my son passed. He said no, but what he meant to say is that these circumstances are different and refused to expand on his argument. I started a big fight with him about it and he went upstairs after saying that I lashed out at him for no reason, and that I should control my temper, but he's been staying there so far. I don't know if I went too far, but it seems like I did because he's so upset and refuses to come downstairs and speak to me. Am I the asshole for not letting my boyfriend see one of his female best friends without me? Disclaimer, this is not my story. I, 22 female, have been dating my boyfriend, 23 male, for a little over 2.5 years now. He doesn't have a big relationship with his family and considers his friend group like his family. From the beginning, I saw the toxic traits of the group, but that's a whole different story. Everything started when one of the longtime group members, Mila, came back into the group after being in a very toxic relationship for 4 years. She is considered the sweetheart of the group and is loved by everyone. I didn't really know her as she wasn't in the group at the beginning of my relationship. But after a few months of her being back, I noticed some changes within my boyfriend. My boyfriend and her didn't have jobs at the time, so they would hang out a lot together as they didn't have anything else to do. He would get really angry with me for no reason and would tell me I'm being a bad girlfriend, and then when I asked why, he could never give me an answer. One day when he came to my house after seeing her, he started talking about the bad girlfriend stuff again. By now, I've noticed that it's a pattern. It's always like this on the days he goes to see Mila, so I called him out for it. He denied that she was saying or doing anything, so I dropped the conversation. After speaking with the other girlfriends in the group, I found out the same thing was happening with the other boys after they would hang out with her. We figured out that she was trying to break up the couples as she wanted the group to be the same as before she got into the toxic relationship, which was when it was just the boys. So I brought it up to my boyfriend again, who actually owned up to it. I told him I didn't want him seeing her without me being there so I can at least monitor the situation. I'm not the jealous or petty type, and my boyfriend is very gullible, so I don't blame him. But she's calling me the asshole for not letting her see her friend. Am I the asshole for not making my daughter apologize to my wife? Disclaimer, this is not my story. I, male 32, have a daughter, 15 female, from a previous relationship in high school. My wife, 30 female, and I have 2 sons together, 5 and 3. We're planning a family vacation to go to Florida, including my daughter. A couple of days ago, we were discussing what we were planning on doing while on vacation, and my wife wanted to go to SeaWorld. My daughter said that she would stay at the hotel. My wife said why, so my daughter explained she isn't a fan of seeing animals contained in tiny spaces. Later, my wife got mad and said that I need to make her go since we're the adults and we're taking her on this trip, and that my daughter needs to apologize to her. I told her I'm not making my daughter go and she doesn't have to apologize if she doesn't want to. She said we can't leave her at the hotel by herself, so I said I would stay with her and she could take the boys. She said she can't believe me and that I'm raising someone entitled and I'm being an asshole.